Okay, so this is factoring by the GCF. So for these notes, we are going to use the distributive property to represent area model. Okay? So basically to find area, you're multiplying length times width. So here the first problem is I'm actually going to be multiplying, this is my width, this is my length. Okay? So distribute means to make sure you are handing out, passing out to each person, okay, that's being distributed. But for distributive property, remember, in distributive property, whatever is outside of the parentheses is going to be multiplied to everything inside the parentheses. So to figure out this area right here, all right, what I would do is I would multiply 3 times the x. And so this area right here would be 3x. Okay? And then to get this part right here, okay, I'm just going to make it a little bit. I'm going to multiply, I would do 3 times 5, okay, because this part is 5 and this part is 3. So the area of this is 3 times 5, which is 15. So my total area will be just 3x plus 15. And that's how I got that. Okay. This one, so again, I'm going to find the area of this piece, which is going to be 7x times x. So we would multiply, that would be really 7x times x. And since there's x times x, that's x squared. So this area is 7x squared. And then we will just multiply 7x times the 8. So that's going to be 7x times 8 would be, that's just 7x times 8. That's all I did. So that is actually 56x. Okay? So then I combine the two areas together. So the total area would be 7x squared plus 56x. Okay? And then this one, again, okay, I'm going to find the area of this one. So the area of this one is 4y times 8. Well, 4 times 8 is 32, and then I have a y. Okay? And then for this area, I'm multiplying the 4y times the 12. So 4 times 12 is going to be 48y. Okay? And so I can combine the two areas together, so that's 32y plus 48y. And so since I have a y and variable, I can actually combine the two coefficients together. But I'm going to leave it just like this because we have not talked about combining like terms yet, which these are like terms. So just worry about writing it this way, and that's fine. But later you'll understand that you can actually combine the 32 and the 48 because they each have a y. So 32 and 48 would give you, and that would be a total of 80y. Okay, if you combine the two all together. Okay? And so this one here, I'm going to find the area of this part. So I'm multiplying 6g times 4g. So 6 times 4 is 24. And then g times g would be, I've got 2g, so g to the second. And then I'm multiplying 6g times 9. So 6 times 9 is 54, and then I have a g. Okay? So I would write it as 24 g to the second plus 54 g. Okay? And then I have 2w the squared times 3w. Okay? So I'm multiplying 3 times 2 is just 6. And w squared times w, well, how many w's do I have? I got 3 w's, so that would be w to the third. And then I'm going to multiply 2w to square times 11. So that's 2 times 11 would be 22. And then I have a w squared. Okay? And so I would write that as 6w squared to the third plus 22w to the squared, as 22w squared as my area. Okay? So far we talked about how to find the area, okay, using the distributive property. So remember, the distributive property is whatever, this is actually the piece outside the parentheses. And I'm multiplying, you see, I multiply the 3 times the x to get 3x, and then I multiply the 3 times the 5 to get the 15. Okay? So, looking at the distributive property, I would put parentheses around this piece, because this is x plus 5. I'm going to get x plus 5 here, right? And then the 3 is outside of the parentheses. And so when I multiply 3 times x to get 3x, and then I multiply 3 times 5 to get 15, I put it all together, I get 3x plus 15. So I can go back here, and this is really the piece that's inside the parentheses, these two parts. This is outside the parentheses, okay? So again, I multiplied 7x times x to get 7x squared, and I multiplied 7x times 8 to get 56x, and I put it all together to get the area, okay? So for this one, this would be in the parentheses, the 8 plus the 12, and the 4y would be outside, okay? The 4g plus the 9 would be inside the parentheses, and the 6g would be outside, okay? And then for this one, the 3w and the 11 would be inside, and 2w would be outside. So we're still practicing distributive property. We're just using area. So as far as finding the GCF to find the dimensions of the rectangle, so you're beginning with the total, or the area, but I got to figure out what the length of the sides are, okay? So that means I'm going to actually find the GCF. So I'm actually going to reverse it, right? So instead of finding the area, I'm going to find what the dimensions are, okay? So I need to figure out what number outside of my box times this number here gives me 5y. And then I got to figure out what number times this part gives me 35. Well, if I look at 5 and 35, I need to find the GCF of 5 and 35. Or, in other words, what factor goes into both 5 and 35 that's the greatest factor, or the greatest common factor? Well, 5 goes into 5, and 5 also goes into 35. So 5 would be the GCF of both numbers. Okay? So the GCF is actually going to be right here. This is the GCF. So whatever is outside of, or outside out of the area, or one of the lengths here, is or the outside of the box is going to be the GCF. Okay? So 5 times y is 5y. So you would have to multiply by y. Okay? And then 5 times what number gives me 35? You would have to multiply by 7. Okay? So just like before, this part here is my parentheses, and this part here is outside my box. So my length would be, whatever this is, 5, length of which doesn't matter, which one you put it in, and then y plus 7 would be my width. Okay? So you're multiplying length times the width. Okay? For this one, I have 18, I have 63. So what is the GCF of 18 and 63? Okay? Well, if you don't remember, you can always do your ladder method. Okay? Well, 18 and 63. What prime number goes into both 18 and 63? Well, 3 goes into both. Okay? 3 into 63 is 21. I can use 3 again. So that would be 2 and 7. GCF is just to the left. So 3 times 3 is 9. So my GCF of 18 and 63 is going to be 9. So 9 would be right here. However, they both have a D. Okay? So I can be able to, they each have a D, so I can pull out a D. So I have a D, at least one D. So I pull out a D, and I can pull out a 9, because that's the greatest common factor. So if I multiply 9D times what number, what term goes here to get 18D? So I know 9 times 2 gives me 18, But d times what gives me d squared? So I would need another d here. So 9d times 2d is going to be 18d squared, okay? And then 9 times what number gives me 63 would be 7, okay? So 9 times 7 is 63, and I don't need an extra d there because I already have one. So 9d times 7 would be 63d, okay? So this would be the inside of the parentheses, okay? And 9d would be my outside. So it would be 9d, okay, is my width, okay? And my length is, or my width is right here, okay? Whatever, it doesn't matter what you put for your length and the width. Doesn't matter. So you can either put the 9d for my width in the or the 2d plus the 7 is my length. Okay? Alright. 2d plus 7. You can check it. See if you get the same thing in the box. So if I did 9d times 2d, that's 9 times 2 is 18, and d times d is the second. And then 9d times 7, well 9 times 7 is 63, and then I have a d. Okay? Alright, so for this one, what's the GCF of 4 and 60? Does 4 go into 60? Yes, so I can pull out a 4. Okay? 4 times s is 4s. Okay? And 4 times what is 60? That's 15. Okay, so again, this is the inside of my parentheses. So my length would be 4, my width would be 7 plus 15. Check it. 4 times s is 4s, 4 times 15 is 60. Okay? Alright? And then, and then 12 and 40, what's the greatest common factor of 12 and 40? Both of them, what goes in? Again, use your ladder method, 12 and 40. Okay? 2 goes into both, 6, 20, 2, 3, 10. Okay? And GCF is just to the left, so the greatest common factor of 12 and 40 would be 4. So 4 would go in, and they each have a y, at least, so I can pull out a y. So 4y times what is 12, so that would be 3y. So 4y times 3y was 12y squared. And then 4y times 10 would give me 40, but I don't need another y because I have it. So 4y times 10 is 40y. So this is in my parentheses. So I have 4y, and then I have 3y plus 10. Okay? So go ahead. I'm gonna see if you can do this one by yourself. Okay? So think about it. All right? What's the GCF of 27 and 9? I'm going to give you a clue. All right? That they both have an x, so you can at least pull out an x. Okay? So go ahead and do this one. Again, this was factoring by the GCF, okay, dealing with the area model. Now, what is factoring? We're going to talk about that in class, okay? So make sure you have this side of the notes completed, ready to discuss, okay?